Here are some harder expansions. Now, they're harder expansions because you can see we've got two brackets in all of these, and we want to expand the brackets out. Now, there's a number of different ways you can do it, but really, what it's all about, we call them binomial products because there's two terms in each. So, binomial, two terms. Now, when we expand it out, basically, instead of having one term out the front and multiplying every term in the bracket, what we're going to do is expand by multiplying every term in one bracket by every term in the other bracket. So what it really just takes is a logical and careful way of expanding these. So take your first term, multiply it by both. So insert the AX and times the AY. And then take your second term and multiply both. Get a BX and BY. And then if you can simplify them, you can simplify them. If you can't, we leave it as 4 terms there. So here we have a look with the surds here in this question. I'm going to take root 2, multiply it by root 11. That's going to give us root 22. 2 times the 11 is 22. The root 2 then multiplies by the root 7. It's a positive times a negative, so we're going to get a negative answer. So that's one of the key things. We've got to be careful about our signs. But 2 7s are root 14. The root 5 times root 11 gives us a root 55, and then the root 5 times root 7 gives us root 35. Again, it's negative because we've multiplied a positive by a negative. And we've got 4 terms. They don't simplify out. You can't break it down to a simplified surd and get a common surd there. So we leave it like that. Some more examples here. 2 root 6, multiply it by root 6. Now that's going to simplify to 2 times root 6 times root 6 is 6. 2 6s are 12. So that's where the 12 comes from. It comes from 2 root 6 times root 6. Root 6 times root 6 would be 6, and 2 times 6 is 12. And then 2 root 6 times 3 root 5. So 2 3s are 6, 6 5s are 30. Can't simplify that one. Then we take our root 15, multiply it by root 6. Comes down to root 90. And then root 15 times 3 root 5 comes to 3 root 75. Now we can simplify these ones once we've got there. At this point, those ones are in the most simplified form. But then we can simplify it because we know that would be square root of 9 times square root of 10. And that comes down to 3 root 10. And this one would be 3 times square root of 25 times square root of 3. 3 5s are 15 times the root 3. So it's great. Again, keep looking for those perfect squares that are factors of any numbers to simplify them. So if we have a look at couple more examples here. 3 root 2 minus 2 times 2 root 3 minus 2. So again, take our first term, 3 root 2 times 2 root 3. And you can see we're actually expanding the brackets out this way. You can do it this way as well if this makes it easier. Take your first term, show it as you're multiplying the bracket, and then minus 2 times expanding times the bracket there. And then multiply the terms out. Gives us 2 3s are 6. Root 2 times root 3 is root 6. 3 times root 2 times root 2, or root 2 times root 2 will give us 2. And 3 2s is 6 there. Again, minus. Be careful of the sign. Minus 2 times 2 root 3 will be minus 4 root 3. And minus 2 times minus root 2 is positive. So there's a trick. Be careful of that positive there. We often see errors with that term when it's a negative there and a negative there. So just be careful. And realize we can see expansions in this form, like 2 times root 3 root 5 all squared. We're the same as 2 plus root 3 root 5 times 2 plus 3 root 5, and then expand it out. Each term, this term multiplies by every term in that bracket here. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 3s is 6 root 5. Then the root 3 root 5 multiplies every term in the bracket there again. 3 root 5 times 2 gives us 6 root 5. And 3 root 5 times 3 root 5, or 3 3s are 9, times root 5, which gives us 5. 45 all up. Collect our like terms. 4 plus 45 gives us 49. Plus the 12 lots of root 5 is our most simplified answer. So again, how do you see it? You'll see it in different texts, different ways. Like you can use what they call a FOIL method, or you might see a few other different ways. I prefer just to think about it as like making sure we get every term in one bracket and making sure we multiply by every term in another bracket. If we do that, then we won't go too far wrong with any of our expansions. So be really careful with them, especially with the signs.